All right, everybody, welcome to Saturday at the 2024 State Fair of Virginia. We're going to start off this morning with the Prospect Steer Show. We've got 5 classes of Prospect Steers. First into the ring, we've got Bowen Evers from Augusta County, steer weighing 462. Next is Sophie Shepard from Virginia Beach, steer weighing 475. Followed by Levi McDaniel from Greene County, calf weighing 488. Next is Hayden Rubush from Augusta County, calf weighing 488. Next is Jack Shepard from Virginia Beach, steer weighing 491. Followed by Kyle Evans from Nelson County, steer weighing 498. Next is Sadie Talley from Augusta County, calf weighing 524. And rounding out the class is Lane Cather from Clark County, steer weighing 549. Again, this is Class 1 Prospect steers ranging in weight from 462 to 549. Again, the order of events for today, as far as the beef cattle shows go, we're starting with Prospect steers, then we're going to move to Prospect heifers, commercial heifers, and AOB registered heifers. Again, that's going to be the order of events. Lead line and costume will be 30 minutes after the conclusion of the AOB heifers this afternoon. Again, lead line and costume will be in the beef show ring 30 minutes after the conclusion of the AOB heifers. We're excited to welcome back our judge, Christy Gable from Eaton, Colorado. Christy grew up on a diversified farming, ranching, and cattle feeding operation. She attended Butler College and Kansas State University, where she was a member of their livestock judging programs and was also named to the prestigious All-American Livestock Judging Team in both junior and senior college. Christy and her family continue to run a progressive Sim-Angus operation, selling bulls and show heifers. Additionally, they own and operate Magnum Feed Yard in Wiggins, Colorado. We're really excited to have Christy back again with us again this year. Let's give her a round of applause and welcome her back this morning.
Well, good afternoon. I think a fun place to start here as we get into our prospect steers. I really like the young man's yellow steer, and if we could square him up directly behind his shoulder, I think he wins this really, really easily. But at this stage of maturity, we want to get just a little bit easy right there behind our shoulder. Outside of that, though, I think he's the calf that I'm the most comfortable with projecting as he continues to mature. He's the biggest bodied, he's the boldest, and the most genuine in terms of his foot size and shape. As you get on top of that steer and you get behind him and you read him in terms of rib cage, muscularity, and natural dimension, I think that he's the most comfortable place to start. And then on top of that, he reads to have the kind of soundest in terms of his foot size and shape and structural build. Like a lot of things about the black steer, really long-bodied, really extended kind of a calf. I like the fact that he's stronger and squarer as he ties in directly behind his shoulder, remains leveler in his top line and is a little bit more comfortable there. One that gives you a really cool look from his shoulder forward. In comparison to our class winner, I think you have a few more questions just in terms of his body type. Wants to get a little bit shallower in terms of his center capacity there, a little bit more tucked up in terms of his flank. And I read him, too, to maybe just be a little bit more rigid in terms of his rear pastern, maybe set down not quite as big and square at the surface. Black and white steer that comes next, I think clearly has some body shape and some dimension advantages to the black steer directly ahead of him. He is bolder in terms of his center body, reads with a little bit more depth all the way through. You get on top of this steer, you appreciate the dimension that he's got in terms of his pin set. I do believe that he reads with more power at the lower portion of his stifle and as he transitions down to the ground. With that, it comes with a little bit bigger and more genuine foot size and shape. At this stage of the game, I need that steer to be more relaxed off of his rear skeleton, a little bit more comfortable and more genuine as he sets down at the surface. Like a lot of things in terms of muscularity and shape about the gray steer that comes in fourth. One for me that I read just a little bit more upright in terms of the angle of his shoulder. Want to relax him there and make that transition into his full rib just a little smoother. I think from there back, he's got a lot of pieces of quality that you like a lot of things about. Big, stout, powerful, lots of dimension, good off of his rear skeleton. Very practical black steer that comes next. Maybe one that just doesn't read with all the stoutness and the dimension of some cattle ahead of him. He's very genuine and practical in terms of his kind with not a lot of holes. Doesn't come with the extra feature in terms of substance of bone and mass and power. Same can be said about the next black steer. He's one that's long and extended in terms of his type and kind. I want to see him with a little bit more feature and a little bit more punch in terms of dimension and muscularity at this stage of the game. Gray steer that comes next, probably just the narrowest constructed and the flattest all the way through. Yellow steer that's going to round out the class. One you appreciate in terms of his length of body, skeletal extension and look. Needs to be rocked back in terms of the angle of his shoulder, a little bit more comfortable as he hits the surface. I think a bright future for all of these steers. Going to be fun projects for these kids. Let's put our hands together as they exit the ring.
Congratulations. Winning Class 1 is Bowen Evers of Augusta County. In second place, Sadie Talley, also from Augusta County. In third, Hayden Rubush, Augusta County. In fourth, Kyle Evans from Nelson County. Fifth, Levi McDaniel from Greene County. In sixth, Lane Cather from Clark County. In seventh, Sophie Shepard from Virginia Beach. And in eighth, Jack Shepard, also from Virginia Beach. We're going to move right into Class 2 of our Prospect Steer Show. We've got 9 entries in this class, led off by Kenley Bagoon from Augusta County. Next is Wyatt Holloway from Rockingham County, followed by Kyle Prince from Appomattox. Next is Emily Stanford from Loudon. Followed by Maddie Evers from Augusta County. Next is Caden Harris from Augusta County, followed by Michaela McPherson from Chesapeake. Next is Ryland Scott from Charlotte, and rounding out the class will be Alice Yankee from Fauquier. These steers are weighing between 556 and 600. Again, Class 2 Prospect Steers. 556 to 600.
Five steers are within 2 pounds of each other. Pound to 2 pounds. 593 to 600.
We do want to recognize our Beef Barn and Show Committee. A lot of time and effort gets put into making events like this possible. I want to thank Megan Sheets from Rockbridge County 4-H agent, Ashley Cron with Rockingham 4-H Extension, Sam Leach from Albemarle County 4-H Extension, Ms. Shirley Kaufman, Ag Teacher and FFA Advisor at Buffalo Gap High School, Ann Jones, Botetourt A&R Agent, Colby Sheets, Shin Valley AREC, and Chad Joins, Virginia Tech School of Animal Sciences. We've also got a ton of sponsors that we'll go through here throughout the show today. Did want to give a special shout out to the Virginia Club Calf producers for sponsoring the Grand and Reserve Champion Prospect Steers, and did want to make sure everyone was aware of the show that they've got coming up here October 19th and 20th, the Second Wind Show. Again, that's going to be October 19th and 20th at the Rockingham County Fairgrounds. And then, of course, they'll have their Winter Classic coming up at the end of January.
The 19th. Did you say the 19th?
19th. Yeah.
Black and white Brockle Face is a really nice place to start here in this particular class. Steer that gives you just a killer look from the side. I really like his balance and proportions at this stage of the game. That's a big-footed one that still remains good in terms of his structural build. He's nice in terms of his muscularity and his muscle shape. I like the presence and the arrogance that he gives you from his shoulder forward. I think that's just a really exciting project for the young man. Got to read a little bit more future into the steer that comes second. He's obviously a little later in terms of his maturity pattern. That comes with some additional length of body and extension from his blade forward. But I still read that steer to be good in terms of his body shape. That's a sound-footed one that reads with plenty of muscularity, maybe just a little bit more immature in terms of his kind. And when he's behaving a little bit easier, not giving this young lady such a hard time, I think he comes together and fits his pieces together very, very comfortably. Steer that comes in third is one that you appreciate in terms of his muscle shape. You like his foot size and his dimension. Maybe at this stage of the game doesn't fit together quite as comfortably from a proportionality perspective. Comes in a few more pieces out here. The young man does a really nice job with him. Maybe could be just a notch stouter in some places, particularly at the base of his stifle in relation to those on the top side of this particular set. Want to level him out ever so slightly from hooks to pins as well. Need to give a shout out to a purebred Angus steer out here. Obviously one that is not comparable just in terms of foot size and dimension and muscularity, but you also can't expect him to be. For a purebred Angus steer, he's incredible in terms of his build and his skeletal design. You like his soundness of structure. Reads with plenty of shape for me from hooks to pins, and when you get behind him, this rear view, plenty of width and just genuine skeletal build. Gives up some stoutness of feature and some muscularity to the crossbreds on the top side of this set. But I think a really fun Angus project for that exhibitor. Like the stoutness and the power of the steer that comes next. He's a bold-bodied one that's probably the most genuine in terms of his cage and his center body. A little moderate for me. At times when we get out and go, we're a little rounder off of both sides of our skeleton, particularly a touch shorter hipped. Want to read with just a little extra set to our hock and our hind pastern. Same can be said for the steer that comes next. I read this one to just be pretty moderate all the way through. I've got some questions about how that steer is going to grow and perform. You study his length of cannon and just his maturity pattern. He strikes me as just a little earlier maturing and a little quicker pattern. Maybe he doesn't have the same grow and extension that some cattle on the top side of this particular set do. Gray steer that comes next, one that's good in terms of length of body and performance. We're in too many pieces from a balance perspective. Want to get a little easy behind our shoulder, not quite as genuine in terms of our center dimension. For cattle that are going to round out this set, ones that just need more natural dimension and just rib shape and power all the way through to move up any higher. Let's put our hands together, give these kiddos a nice round of applause for doing a great job.
Congratulations. Winning the class is Wyatt Holloway from Rockingham County. In second, we have Maddie Evers from Augusta. In third, Kyle Prince from Appomattox. Fourth, Caden Harris, Augusta County. In fifth, Emily Stanford from Loudon. In sixth, Kinley Bagoon from Augusta County. Seventh, Michaela McPherson from Chesapeake City. In eighth, Alice Yankee from Fauquier. And in ninth, Rylan Scott from Charlotte. We're going to move right into Prospect Steer Class 3. 9 entries in this class, led off by Sadie Wood from Rockingham County. Next is Caitlin Lutz from Shenandoah, followed by Jack Bagoon from Augusta County. Next is Miles Putnell from Appomattox, Emery Seal from Augusta, Dixie Randolph from Caroline, Montana Deming from Augusta County, Caitlin Newton from Stafford, and Kyle Evans from Nelson County. Again, this is going to be Class 3 Prospect Steers. These cattle range in weight from 608 to 700. 608 to 700. Again, we do have a ton of folks and businesses that make events like the State Fair Beef Show possible. We want to recognize our 2024 State Fair Virginia Youth Beef Cattle Show sponsors, the Montgomery County 4-H Livestock Club, McPherson Farms, Prince William Farm Bureau, King William Farm Bureau, Page County Farm Bureau, Charles City, James City, New Kent, and York County Farm Bureau, Northumberland Lancaster Farm Bureau, Point Pleasant Angus Farm, Rockingham Feeder Cattle Association, Glen Mary Farm, the Nixon family, Blue Ridge Cattlemen's Association, Virginia Cattlemen's Association, Springwood Livestock Management Services, Yankee Farms, the Blue Ridge Animal Clinic, Clark Boys, Bagoon Farms, the Virginia Club Calf Producers, Country Crossroads Vet Services, Umbarger Feeds, Shearpoint Farms, Nick and Courtney Belcher, and Spring Lake Livestock, the Heifer family. We also want to recognize our partners throughout the weekend events, the State Fair of Virginia, Virginia Farm Bureau, Virginia Cooperative Extension, Virginia Youth Animal Science Program, Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Farm Credit of the Virginias, and First Bank and Trust. Also, yesterday, our showmanship exhibitors received a pair of gloves from Virginia Tech's Intercollegiate Livestock Judging Team, Coach Matthew Miller, and a rally towel from the McCall family at MC Livestock. Let's give a round of applause for all these sponsors and supporters of this weekend's events.
think it's a really close top pair here in this particular set, and I think that these cattle are very similar. Maybe neither without fault, but the place for me that I'm the most comfortable starting is in the white-bellied kind of black and white steer, one that kind of balances up and gives you a really nice look from the side. Both of these cattle are good in terms of their body dimension. They're wide constructed. They read with the right kind of shape at this stage of the game. They balance up and give you a nice look from the side. To me, the steer that wins this class, I just read is a little bit smoother all the way through. He's a little flatter in his shoulder. He's a little bit just longer and more extended from his blade forward. And then he's got the advantage in terms of hip dimension, both length and a little bit of levelness as you just study the way he's built from hooks to pins. You like the stoutness and the dimension of the young man steer that comes in second. Again, like our class winner, he's really genuine and bold in terms of his center body shape. Very muscular steer that's good in terms of his rear foot size and the way that he motors out of his rear skeleton. I read him to be a little shorter necked, maybe a little bit open in terms of his shoulder, and then I want to set that young man or that steer's tail head in just a little smoother, make him a little bit longer and leveler from hooks to pins. But a really nice top pair. If you wanted to swap that pair, I probably wouldn't argue too much. Build and balance and extension is all on the side of the steer that comes in third. Beautiful in terms of his lines. He's very extended, very, very nice balance. From his hip back, you like him from a dimension perspective because he's square about his pin set. Reads with good shape in terms of his stifle. It's just with that steer directly behind his shoulder, the way that he's made in his full rib, we're just a little bit flatter in comparison to the two steers on the top of this particular set. That's what gives him such a cool look and build from his shoulder blade forward. Want to see just a little bit more genuine power and punch right there in terms of his full rib. Short horn steer kind of gives you some challenges. Obviously, the one that's the most recently cut out here, we run into some issues with that very briefly, but one that you appreciate in terms of his skeletal build and quality, good in terms of his muscle shape, sound structured one. Young lady's done a nice job with him. A nicely shaped black steer that's going to come next. You appreciate the muscularity that he reads with on the back side of his shoulder. One that's a little bit more PC just in terms of where he's at from a maturity perspective. We're a little bit more rocked forward in the angle to our blade, and as a result of that, not quite as genuine in the way that we're built through our full rib or rear flank. When he gets out and goes, that steer collects himself, gives you a nice look. Again, one that you appreciate in terms of skeletal extension and just front third view. Beautiful in terms of his neck shape and how attractive he's constructed from his shoulder forward. With that kind of tells the story from there back, though. A little flatter in terms of the way he's constructed all the way through. Doesn't give you the look of the same power and punch as you get behind him, and you study that steer from a dimensional perspective. Nice black and white steer that comes next, one that you just have some questions with about skeletal structure and build from a foundational perspective. We're too far forward in our shoulder, maybe not quite as comfortable as we get off of our rear skeleton. Steer that comes next, again, you appreciate in terms of length of body. Very shapely from a muscle perspective, and his rear hip and stifle have some questions again in terms of skeletal build. He's a little bit harsher directly behind his shoulder. Want to open him up all the way through. Let's give these kiddos a nice round of applause. It's a competitive class.
Congratulations. Winning Class 3 is Emery Seal from Augusta County. In second place, Jack Bagoon from Augusta. In third, Dixie Randolph from Caroline. In fourth, Sadie Wood from Rockingham. Fifth goes to Caitlin Lutz from Shenandoah. In sixth, Miles Putnell from Appomattox. In seventh, Montana Deming from Augusta. And in eighth, Caitlin Newton from Stafford. Next into the ring is Class 4 of our prospect steers. We've got 4 entries in this class, led off by Levi Call from Orange. Next is Ethan Fines from Stafford, followed by Madison Hinkler from Fauquier, and Bryson Edney from Fauquier. Again, 4 entries in this class, ranging in weight from 749 to 837. 749 to 837.
Nice pair of shorthorn influence steers that are going to rise to the top of this particular class. Obviously, the blue roan is the one that just gives you the look of muscularity and looks like a market animal from a width and dimension perspective. Maybe the shapeliest back one that we've seen to this stage of the game. Clearly one of the ones that's further along in terms of his maturity and is maybe has a few less questions. Maybe not perfect in terms of his front skeletal design. We get a little bit more open in terms of our shoulder and the way that we're constructed in our neck shape and our front third. But a nice big-bodied, powerful steer that gives you a nice look of muscularity. On the other side of the spectrum, you've got one that's a lot longer-bodied. He's a lot more extended in terms of his kind. You appreciate the fact that he's flatter shouldered and his neck sits high onto the top side of his shoulder and extends and gives you a good look from there forward. Just in terms of body shape and dimension, one that leaves you with a few more questions in terms of roundness of body and rib shape. Needs a shot more natural dimension all the way through. Like the length and extension and just structural correctness of the red steer that comes next, same can be said. We just need a shot more muscularity and width and dimension kind of all the way through. Young man's doing a really nice job with his black steer. One that, again, same can be said in terms of length of body and balance. Gives you a really high quality look from the side. Just one that I want to see bigger in terms of his foot size and read with a little bit more natural dimension. Let's give all of these kiddos a nice round of applause. It's a nice class.
Congratulations goes to Levi Call from Orange for winning Class 4. In second, Madison Hinkler from Fauquier. In third, Ethan Vines from Stafford. And in fourth, Bryson Edney from Fauquier. We're now going to move into our last class of prospect steers, Class 5. We've got 3 entries in this class. And again, following this class, we'll bring back our class winners to compete for our champion and reserve champion prospect steer. All right, so Class 5 is now entering the ring. First, we have Lucy Williams from Essex, steer weight 922, followed by Ruth Hale from Hanover, steer weight 968. Rounding out the class will be Joshua Newton from Stafford, steer weight 984. Again, Class 5 prospect steers ranging in weight from 922 to 984.
Yellow steer is the logical place to start in this particular class. One that just from a performance and mass and power perspective, I think rises to the top very handily in this particular set. Good large frame steer that's really extended in terms of his kind, gives you a nice look of muscularity, particularly as you get behind him and you study him through the center and lower portions of his quarter. That's a nice project for the young lady to move through on the summer. Broad coal face steer is going to go ahead and be second. One that maybe doesn't have the same look of balance and quality, leaves you with a little bit to be desired in terms of foot shape, natural dimension, and bone, but the young lady's done a nice job with him. His core advantage, though, is just the genuineness that he's got in terms of his foot size and his hoof wall. Steer that's going to round out this particular set is one that's long-bodied. It looks to be just practical in terms of his type and kind. I've got some questions and some issues with his rear foot size, very, very shallow heeled, maybe not quite as comfortable, and you've got some questions just in terms of how you're going to manage that as he continues to mature. Let's give these kiddos a nice round of applause. It's been a nice prospect steer show.
Congratulations goes to Ruth Hale from Hanover for winning Class 5. In second place, Lucy Williams from Essex. And in third, Joshua Newton from Stafford. We're now going to bring in our class winners to compete for our champion and reserve champion prospect steer. Entering the ring, we have our Class 1 winner, exhibited by Bowen Evers from Augusta County, weighing 462. Next is Wyatt Holloway from Rockingham County, our Class 2 winner, weighing 556. Followed by Emery Seal from Augusta County, our Class 3 winner, weighing 630. Next is Levi Call from Orange, steer weighing 749. And finally, we have our Class 5 winner, exhibited by Ruth Hale from Hanover, steer weighing 968. We are going to bring in our second place entries. From Class 1, we have Sadie Talley from Augusta County. From Class 2, we have Maddie Evers, also from Augusta County. From Class 3, Jack Bagoon from Augusta County. From Class 4, Madison Hinkler from Fauquier, and from Class 5, Lucy Williams from Essex. Again, this is our championship drive for the Prospect Steer Show. Again, we do want to thank Virginia Club Calf Producers for sponsoring the Grand and Reserve Champion Prospect Steers, and remind everyone of their Second Win Jackpot Show that's going to be coming up October 19th and 20th at Rockingham County Fairgrounds, so here in just a few weeks, and also the VCCP Winter Classic that happens at the end of January at the beginning of next year. Following the selection of our champion and reserve champion prospect steer, we will move into the Prospect Heifer Show. That will be followed by the Commercial Heifer Show and then the AOB Registered Heifer Show.
It's a fun prospect show, and my congratulations to all of the exhibitors that brought their projects to town. Certainly isn't an easy task to have them broke and ready to go to a fair at this stage of the game, and some of them have obviously maybe shown why this is maybe their first or second trip to town. But my congratulations. I'm sure that the Club Calf Association here in the state has been pretty instrumental in encouraging participation here in this particular show, and my kudos and congratulations to them. Prospect shows, I think, at this stage are never really easy to judge because you're trying to evaluate and read a lot of future into some of these cattle, and that maybe just obviously coming to you in different stages of maturity and maybe not quite as simple to read. I've taken a little bit of time and gone through and talking to some of these exhibitors just about some differences with their projects and what they can do to maybe accelerate maybe some of the strengths of some of these cattle. But it's been a fun show. It's been a deep show. Please put your hands together for these exhibitors. I'll select your champion in reserve.
Congratulations, your champion prospect steer goes to Wyatt Holloway from Rockingham County out of Class 2. We'll now be bringing in our second place winner from Class 2, exhibited by Maddie Evers from Augusta County, steer weighing 593.
Some of these earlier classes were very, very deep in terms of quality, and as we bring the second place steer out in that particular class, certainly doesn't diminish the quality at all. I think in relation to the class winner in that particular set, one that you just have a little bit more questions in terms of, are we going to get enough punch and power? He's a little bit narrower constructed in some places, but I think fits right in terms of the quality in this lineup. One more time, my congratulations to all of the kiddos participating in the prospect shows here. I wish you the best of luck with your projects throughout the fall and next spring. I'll select your reserve champion.
Congratulations, your reserve champion goes to Maddie Evers from Augusta County. Again, that'll wrap up our prospect steer show. Congratulations, your champion prospect steer was exhibited by Wyatt Holloway from Rockingham County, and your reserve champion prospect steer exhibited by Maddie Evers from Augusta County. We're going to go ahead and take some quick pictures with our prospect steer winners. And then here in just a couple of minutes, we'll be moving right into the Prospect Heifer show. So we are going to take just a couple-minute break to grab some pictures. And we'll be right back with the Prospect Steer show in just a couple minutes. All right, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to get started here with our Prospect Heifer Show. We've got 4 classes of Prospect Heifers. First into the ring for Class 1, we have Scarlett Beasley from Caroline County. Next is Hayden Rubush from Augusta County. Followed by Emma Alexander from Louisa. And Heidi Rubush from Augusta County. Again, we've got 4 entries, Prospect Heifers, Class 1.
A lot of quality as we transition into our Prospect Heifer Show. Beautiful purebred Angus heifer that's going to lead off this particular set, and one that just gives you such a look of quality, particularly from the side. Gorgeous in terms of her profile, so attractive the way she's constructed in her front third. I like her extra shot of length of body. She's good in terms of her hip and hind leg structure. Obviously, the bigger footed, stouted one that's probably geared a little differently is the calf that comes in second. Nice white bodied heifer that clearly has some pieces just in terms of market fundamentals with her extra shape and dimension. I don't read her quite as good in terms of her skeleton. She's rocked a little forward in the angle of her shoulder, but that's a really high quality pair. Like the power and dimension of the yellow heifer that's going to come in third. Maybe not quite as comfortable in terms of our pieces of structure. As she continues to mature, I hope she sits down a little bit more comfortable off of her hock and rear pastern. Young lady's got a nice heifer project to round out this set that's really good in terms of her length of body and her performance. As she continues to mature, want to see her foot size get a little bigger, want to see her rear ankle get a little bigger, have her just power up in terms of muscle and dimension. Let's put our hands together. That's a really nice place to start here in this particular class.
Congratulations. Winning Class 1 is Emma Alexander from Louisa In second place, Hayden Rubush from Augusta County. In third, Heidi Rubush from Augusta. And in fourth, Scarlett Beasley from Caroline. We're going to move right into Class 2 of our Prospect Heifer Show. First into the ring is Elizabeth Yankee from Fauquier, followed by Aubrey Herbers from Pittsylvania County. Next is Sadie Talley from Augusta, followed by Caitlin Lutz from Shenandoah. And rounding out the class is McKinley Bergeron from Pittsylvania County. Again, this is Prospect Heifers, class number 2, 5 entries in this class. Again, we do want to recognize Mandy Rooker at Mandy Rooker Photography for having her crew out here and capturing pictures from this weekend's shows. We also want to recognize Show Barn Flicks. So if y'all have any relatives or anyone who can't make it to watch the shows in person, we are streaming these shows online. Sydney over here to my right is working the camera, and you can view those online at Show Barn Flicks.
we're going to leave this pair just how they're lined up. I think a really nice set of females and a tremendously high quality pair. Two females that are very different in terms of their kind, and I think differences in terms of what their ideal endpoints might be. To me, the Angus heifer is just so elite in terms of her kind, beautiful in terms of her presentation. Again, one that's just so unique and elegant in the way that she's constructed up front, good and sound structured. The places that I really prefer her today is just her extra shot of body. She's a softer, kind of deeper centered female, and then she sets down a little bit more comfortably in terms of her rear ankle than does the heifer in second. Obviously, the heifer in second brings more power. She brings more dimension. That's a bigger footed, stouter one that obviously has some more continental influence in her if we're just being very transparent. A female for me that's just jam-packed full of quality in her own right, just maybe does it in a little different package than the Angus heifer does. As you study her, you can get a little nitpicky just in terms of her openness of shoulder. At times, as she gets around the ring, we don't want to set down just quite as comfortably in terms of our rear ankle. Something as she continues to mature and just gets more comfortable in the ring. She's great in terms of her soundness of structure. Again, as she continues to soften and mature in terms of her center body, going to be a really exciting, fun project for the young heifer as we continue down the road. Young lady in third, you've got a really nice female here. You just got into a really tough type pair, one that you appreciate in terms of her boldness of body, her dimension, her power as you study her from her hip and hind leg, and she sets down very comfortably as she goes. Want to rock her back ever so slightly in the angle in terms of her shoulder, give her a shot more punch just in terms of her full rib. Tremendously high quality three females in this class. Black heifer that comes next, again, very sporty as you study her from her shoulder forward, very attractive in terms of the shape of her neck and just the dimension that she reads with down her top. I study her, it's just a little harsher in terms of her body kind. Want to make her a little softer in terms of her center skeleton, give her a little bit more depth of body and maternal look as she continues to mature. Like the black and white heifer that's going to round out this class, maybe doesn't show us off just in terms of the way that she proportions out here from a balance perspective. Give her a shot more power and natural dimension all the way through. Congratulations to those four females. It's a really nice class of heifers.
All right, congratulations. Winning Class 2 is Aubrey Herbers from Pittsylvania County. In second place, McKinley Bergeron from Pittsylvania County. In third, Caitlin Lutz from Shenandoah. In fourth, Sadie Talley from Augusta. And in fifth, Elizabeth Yankee from Fauquier. We're now going to move into Class 3 of our Prospect Heifer Show. First into the ring is Montana Deming from Augusta County. Next is Carter Evers from Augusta County, followed by Sadie Wood from Rockingham, and finally Maddie Evers from Augusta County.
Another really high quality pair on the top side of this particular class. And I think females that both kind of read more similar in their type and kind than some of the top pairs that we've seen thus far. Obviously, both destined to be kind of club calf mamas out here, if you will, and very continental in terms of their kind. Both that I'd like to adjust ever so slightly behind their shoulder. And as they continue to mature, I'm pretty confident that they're going to get stronger and tie in just a little smoother directly behind their shoulder. Today, the yellow heifer just does that a little bit better at this stage of the game. When they ask these cattle to get out and move, she collects her top line a little stronger directly there behind her shoulder. I think she is tied in a little smoother in terms of her rear hip and spine, and then she sets down just a little bit more comfortably. Really nice class winner. Certainly not to take anything away from the black and white heifer. She's got some very unique and out there pieces in terms of her length of body, the way her neck sets onto the top side of her shoulder. One for me too, that as I talked that pair together, she wants to get a little easy directly behind her shoulder, and then just as those cattle get out and go, she wants to get just a little nitpicky there, the way she lays her tail head into her spine, maybe doesn't set down just quite as comfortably as consistently off of her rear pastern. She's got the advantage in terms of foot size. She's got the advantage in terms of bone. I like her extra shot of length and look. It's a really nice pair of females that are going to exit the ring at this time. Like the smoky colored heifer in terms of her muscularity and her shape and natural dimension. Probably doesn't balance up and as feminine of a package as the two on the top side. Red heifer that's going to round out the class. Long bodied, good and practical in her kind. Want to see her just a little softer and more maternal in terms of her center dimension. Put your hands together. Really nice top pair of heifers in this set.
Congratulations. Winning Class 3, we have Carter Evers from Augusta County. In second place, Maddie Evers, also from Augusta County. In third, Montana Deming. And in fourth, Sadie Wood. We're going to move into our final class, Class 4 of Prospect Heifers. First into the ring, we've got Isaac Cyphers from Washington County, followed by Emily Sanford from Loudon. Next is Michaela McPherson from Chesapeake City. Rounding out the class will be Ava Hernandez from Loudon County. Again, this is Class 4 Prospect Heifers. After this class, we'll be bringing back our class winners to select our champion and reserve champion Prospect Heifer.
Another nice place to start. Really like the yellow heifer to go ahead and rise to the top of this set. Again, another one that's probably geared a little bit more on the continental side. I think that her end goal is probably to make some show steers for this young lady. She's got the parts and the pieces to do it. That's a good-bodied one that's super bold in terms of her center body. You like her stoutness of shape. You like her stoutness of feature and how she sets down. Maybe not just a picture of beauty in the way that she's constructed up front. Maybe a little bit more generic in terms of her length and neck, but she balances and she proportions very appropriately. Nice place to start. You like the extra growth in the extension of the purebred Angus heifer that's going to come out in second in this particular set. Maybe one that doesn't balance her extra growth with the same amount of just depth and comfort in terms of her center body. Want to give her a shot more in terms of her rear skeleton, but if you talk about one that gives you the right kind of look and proportions from a length of body and growth perspective, you like a lot of things about that female. From a muscularity perspective, young man's white heifer really suits the bill. She's very shapely and dimensional as you study her. She could match that power that she's got up high with a little bit more substance at the surface as she continues to mature and just kind of blends and fills out. I think that she'll proportion a little better. I'm excited for that young man in the future of that heifer. Like the white-bellied heifer that comes next, just in terms of her maternal makeup, really practical in terms of her kind. Want to see her with just a shot more feature at the surface to compete with those on the top side of this set. Been a really nice heifer show. Let's put our hands together for all of the exhibitors this afternoon.
All right, congratulations. Winning Class 4 is Emily Stanford from Loudoun County. In second place, Ava Hernandez from Loudoun. In third, Isaac Cyphers from Washington. And in fourth, Michaela McPherson from Chesapeake City. We're now going to bring back our class winners to select our champion and reserve champion prospect heifer. From Class 1, we have Emma Alexander from Louisa. Class 2, Aubrey Herbers from Pennsylvania. Class 3, Carter Evers from Augusta County. And from Class 4, Emily Stanford from Loudoun County. We're also going to bring back our second place entries. From Class 1, Hayden Rubush from Augusta County. Class 2, McKinley Bergeron from Pennsylvania County. Class 3, Maddie Evers from Augusta County. And Class 4, Ava Hernandez from Loudoun County. Again, this is going to be your championship drive for the Prospect Heifer Show. Once again, we want to recognize and welcome our judge, Christy Gable from Eaton, Colorado. Christy grew up on a diversified farming, ranching, and cattle feeding operation. She attended Butler College and Kansas State University, where she was a member of their livestock judging programs. Christy was named to the prestigious All-American Livestock Judging Team in both junior and senior college. She and her family continue to run a progressive Sim-Angus operation selling bulls and show heifers. Additionally, they own and operate Magnum Feed Yard in Wiggins, Colorado. We're really glad to have Christy back again with us this year. Let's give our judge a round of applause.
high quality set of females out here, and I think the sky's the limit when it comes to just breeding potential and versatility that all of these females in this set offer. And it's obvious that there's some different intentions and different purposes with each of these as they continue mature and become breeding pieces for these young exhibitors, but certainly no shortage of quality and just kind of versatility from a program perspective. So my congratulations to each of you. I think that you guys should be tremendously excited about these projects as they continue to mature and you put them in your herd or whatever your future plans are. There's some heifers out here that I think just exude quality to the next level, and you really have to kind of put in your mind the perspective of, okay, for what these heifers are, because obviously there's some purebred breeding pieces, there's some continental kind of crossbred breeding pieces out here, some that might be market heifers down the road. You're just really never sure. How good are they within kind of what they're designed to be? And I think all of these heifers are very nice in terms of their type and kind, and there's just a few that are maybe a little bit more elite within their segment of the industry or maybe their purpose out here. So my congratulations to all of these exhibitors. Thank you to the sponsors. Again, I think the Virginia Club Calf Association and some of the sponsors that put some money towards shows like this that encourage participation at these state shows, I think is really important. So kiddos, make sure that you're thanking those people who sponsor these programs and make sure that these shows happen. Certainly wouldn't have as many opportunities as we do without the kindness and charitability of some of those functions out there. So my appreciation. Thank you for the opportunity to come sort them. I'll show you the two that I prefer.
Congratulations, your prospect champion heifer comes out of Class 2, exhibited by Aubrey Herbers from Pittsylvania County. We'll now bring in our second place winner from Class 2, McKinley Bergeron from Pittsylvania County, to compete for reserve. Congratulations, your reserve champion prospect heifer goes to McKinley Bergeron from Pittsylvania County. Again, to recap, that wraps up the Prospect Heifer Show. Your champion, exhibited by Aubrey Herbers from Pittsylvania County, and your reserve champion, exhibited by McKinley Bergeron, also from Pittsylvania County. We're going to go grab some pictures real quick, and then we'll be back with the Commercial Heifer Show here in just a few minutes. right, everybody. As you can see, we're getting ready to get started here with the commercial crossbred heifer show. We've got 4 classes of commercial heifers. Entering the ring, we have Class 1, 3 entries in this class. Closest to me, we have Cade Altman from Orange. Next is Ella Miller from Wythe. Rounding the class will be Leighton Lilly from Rockbridge. Again, this is Class 1 commercial crossbred heifers. We've got 4 classes in this show.
Nice semi-influenced heifer that's going to start off this particular set. One that just kind of sets the standard in terms of maternal character and feature out here. You like the package that she puts together in terms of look, a balance and quality from the side. Very attractive the way her neck comes out of the top side of her shoulder. I appreciate her length of body and just her extra softness and maternal feature through her center body. Hereford influenced heifer that's going to come out in second that the young man's got. She brings us a shot additional performance in relation to our class winner. You like her growth, you like her extension, you like how long-bodied she is. I wish that she matched that extra growth with some softness and center dimension. She's just the harshest and the shallowest in terms of her body. Want to give her a shot more power all the way through. Muscle is certainly not the question for the gray heifer that's going to round out the set. She does have the muscularity advantage and might be the most expressively shaped heifer in this particular class. She strikes me as a bit more terminal in terms of her kind, harsher bodied heifer that I want to see softer in terms of her center body, particularly there through her forerib. Then just from a structure and skeletal build perspective, she offers the most questions at this stage of the game. Let's put our hands together for those exhibitors. It's a really nice place to start here in our commercial female show.
All right, winning Class 1, we have Ella Miller from Wythe. In second place, Leighton Lilly from Rockbridge. And in third, Cade Altman from Orange. Entering the ring now, we've got Class 2 of our commercial crossbred heifers. First into the ring, we have Ruth Hale from Hanover. Ruth is followed by Caitlin Newton from Stafford. Next will be Leighton Lilly from Rockbridge. Rounding out the class will be Jeb Collins from Wythe. Again, this is Class 2 commercial crossbred heifers. Again, the shows this weekend would not be possible without the generous support of so many businesses and organizations and individuals. We want to recognize our sponsors of the Youth Beef Show: Montgomery County 4-H Livestock Club, McPherson Farms, Prince William Farm Bureau, King William Farm Bureau, Page County Farm Bureau, Charles City, James City, New Kent, and York County Farm Bureau, Northumberland Lancaster Farm Bureau, Point Pleasant Angus Farm, Rockingham Feeder Cattle Association, Glen Mary Farm, the Nixon family, Blue Ridge Cattlemen's Association, Virginia Cattlemen's Association, Springwood Livestock Management Services, Yankee Farms, Blue Ridge Animal Clinic, Clark Boys, Bagoon Farms, Virginia Club Calf Producers, Country Crossroads Vet Services, Umbarger Feeds, Shearpoint Farms, Nick and Courtney Belcher, and Spring Lake Livestock, the Heifers family. We also want to recognize our partners throughout the weekend events: the State Fair of Virginia, Virginia Farm Bureau, Virginia Cooperative Extension, Virginia Youth Animal Science Program, Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Farm Credit of the Virginias, and First Bank and Trust.
I think an interesting class and some differences here, but I feel the most comfortable just with the body shape and the maternal function that the heifer that's going to win this class has. Of the ones out here in this particular set, she's the one that I feel the most comfortable with in terms of her body and her softness, the skeleton, and just her maternal character from that perspective. She's the one that's the most practical in terms of her body. She's the easiest fleshing. She's the boldest in terms of her body. Now, is she perfect in terms of a structural perspective? She's not. But I'm not sure, to be honest, that there's a real structural upgrade out here. There's no question that we want to change the way that she's designed off of a rear skeleton. Still like her practical body type to go ahead and be our class winner. Additional length of body, freshness of feature, and the one that comes out in second, she does have the advantage just in terms of feature at the surface. The bigger footed heifer that's more correctly just softened in terms of her angle. I like the flexibility in terms of her hock shape and just her additional length. Maybe one that just from a center body perspective isn't in the same league as our class winner. She's a little flatter as you study her there. As this heifer continues to mature and we can continue to pour the feed to her, I think she'll be just bolder in terms of her center skeleton. That's what she needs to rival the heifer on the top side of this particular class. Young lady continues to do a nice job. Young man's heifer is going to go ahead and be third, one that you appreciate just in terms of her length of body, her skeletal correctness, and her smoothness. Want to see her just with a shot more center dimension to rival the heifers on the top side of this set. Young lady's heifer is going to round out this class. One again in terms of length of body and practicality, you have to appreciate from a balance perspective. We get a little just off. She's a deeper chested female that gets a little bit shallower back through her flank, needs more feature at the surface as well. Put your hands together for those exhibitors as we continue to work through our commercial heifer show.
Congratulations. Winning Class 2 is Jeb Collins from Wythe. In second place, Ruth Hale from Hanover. In third, Leighton Lilly from Rockbridge. And in fourth, Caitlin Newton from Stafford. We're going to move into Class 3 of our commercial crossbred heifers. 3 entries in this class, led off by Madison Bagley from Augusta County, followed by Colt Thomas from Washington County. Rounding the class will be Ava Hernandez from Loudon. Again, commercial crossbred heifers, class number 3.
We're going to leave them just as they're lined up here in this particular class. Smoky colored heifer is going to go ahead and win this class relatively handily. Just from a balance and feature and dimension perspective, she's the logical place to start. She combines that mass and power into a structurally sound package that balances up and gives you a very high quality and attractive feminine look from the side. Really, really nice heifer to go ahead and start. Female that comes next, again, from a balance perspective, she's the other one that probably fits the bill the next best. Longer bodied heifer that is longer in terms of her hooks to her pins, and I appreciate that in relation to our class winner. Maybe not the same punch in terms of her center body, and then where I struggle with this female, I just want to see her looser in the way that she plants off of her rear leg. We want to get just a little bit tighter in the angle to our hock, maybe not quite as comfortable in terms of our pastern and our rear skeleton. The soundness advantage does go to the heifer that's in third, and even though she's behaving a little bit challenging out here, you certainly have to appreciate her athleticism and her flexibility. With that, though, we're a little ill-balanced, a little deeper there through our chest, and not quite the same depth of uniformity of body as you get back to her flank. She needs a shot more bone to match her mass and power on the top side of her skeleton. Congratulations to those exhibitors. That was another nice class.
Winning Class 3, we have Madison Bagley from Augusta County. In second place, Colt Thomas from Washington County. And in third, Ava Hernandez from Loudon. Entering the ring now is Class 4, our final class of commercial crossbred heifers. First into the ring is Grant Grubb from Wythe County. Next is Wyatt Haney from Fluvanna County. And third into the ring is Cade Altman from Orange. Again, we've got 3 entries in this Class 4 commercial crossbred heifers. Following this class, we'll bring back our class winners to select our champion and reserve champion commercial crossbred heifer.
Nice baldy heifer that's going to be our class winner as we conclude our crossbred commercial heifer show. One that I think, again, we've talked a lot about just cow character and maternal quality. She's the boldest bodied. She's the deepest in terms of her center skeleton. She's the easiest fleshing, maybe to a fault in some places. And I just think that's a very cowy, very practical brood project for the young man. Maybe not just tremendously fresh. I think she's pushing a little bit more chest than what I'd like to see at this stage of the game. But she sounds structured and she's very practical. The one that is the most feminine, and I appreciate that she is the freshest in terms of her condition, is the heifer that comes out next. Very attractive, very long-bodied. I like how she's better in terms of her chest, and she's fresher in terms of her condition at this stage of the game. One for me that as you study her, my issues with her just start in her chest floor. She's just narrower in terms of the way that she's constructed. She's the flatter-bodied female that gives up some features. She gives up some stoutness and just some dimension all the way through. Very feminine, very appropriate and fresh in terms of her design. Powerful, bold-bodied heifer that comes out in third, and you're going to say, okay, we're putting our priorities in terms of female character and body and center dimension. What's the issue here? Because she does have those advantages over the heifer that's in second, particularly from a muscularity and shape perspective. My issue with her is just how she's constructed in terms of her front third. We're rocked too far forward in the angle of our shoulder, want to get up in terms of our toes and more forward in terms of our knee. We just don't motor out of our front end the way that we need to have the same kind of longevity that we see in some other places. That's a really nice caliber heifer, young man. You should keep your chin up because she's got a bright future. Let's put our hands together for all of these exhibitors here in our commercial show.
Congratulations. Winning Class 4 is Wyatt Haney from Fluvanna County. In second, Grant Grubb from Wythe. And in third, Cade Altman from Orange. We're going to move into our championship drive for the Commercial Crossbred Heifer Show. Our class winners are now entering the ring. From Class 1, we have Ella Miller from Wythe County. From Class 2, your winner was Jeb Collins from Wythe County. From Class 3, Madison Bagley from Augusta County. And from Class 4, Wyatt Haney from Fluvanna County. We also are going to bring back our second place winners from each of those classes. From Class 1, second place was Leighton Lilly from Rockbridge. From Class 2, second place was Ruth Hale from Hanover. From Class 3, second place was Colt Thomas from Washington County. And from Class 4, second place was Grant Grubb from Wythe County. Again, this is to select our champion and reserve champion commercial crossbred heifer.
Well, my congratulations to the exhibitors of the females out here in the Commercial Crossbred Heifer Show. There's some differences in terms of types and kinds, and that's what you'd expect. Just in terms of a crossbred show with some different breeding pieces, obviously some different fundamentals and some things that each of these kids are trying to do within their own programs. There's one for everybody, and I think that that's what's the most fun about sorting some of these crossbred shows. But to me, there's a couple out here that just rise to the top in terms of quality. Thank you again for the opportunity to come out here and sort through this show. Look forward to doing the AOB show next. Let's put our hands together for all of these exhibitors, and I'll select your champion in reserve.
Congratulations, your champion commercial crossbred heifer goes to Madison Bagley of Augusta County. We'll now bring in the second place entry from Class 3, exhibited by Colt Thomas from Washington County. Congratulations, your reserve champion commercial crossbred heifer goes to Colt Thomas from Washington County. Again, that wraps up our commercial heifer show here at the State Fair. Your champion commercial crossbred heifer exhibited by Madison Bagley of Augusta County, and your reserve champion commercial crossbred heifer exhibited by Colt Thomas from Washington County. We're now going to take a quick break to grab some pictures with our champions. We'll be back with you shortly to start the AOB Heifer Show once we grab some pictures.
left your group
Yes,
chat?
yes. Me, him, and
He's
Colt
got
had a
two.
group chat.
He's got two big.
And
All right, everyone, we're going to get started here with our final show of the day in the beef barn, our AOB registered breeding heifer show. We're going to start off here with the class number 1 cow-calf pairs. We've got one entry in this class, Wyatt Haney, with a red Angus cow-calf pair.
Really nice pair that the young men bring to us to start off our AOB show. Cow that's very maternal and very feminine in terms of her kind. She's obviously done a great job with this little bull calf that she's got outside. Really appreciate a lot of things about him in terms of his performance and his length of body. He's got a nice skull shape and very masculine in terms of his kind. Good in terms of his muscle shape, and as he continues to grow, I'm sure we'll get a little bit more feature, but that's a very nice pair. Cow's done a very exceptional job out here a little bit in her working clothes, but let's put our hands together to give these two gentlemen a nice round of applause out here as we start our AOB show.
Congratulations goes to Wyatt Haney with his red Angus cow-calf pair for exhibiting the champion AOB cow-calf pair. We're going to move into our senior heifer calf division. We have two classes in this division. Class number 2 will be our late senior heifer calves. And we have one entry in this class. It's going to be exhibited by Clara Stevens. It's going to be a limb flex heifer. So again, this is class 2, late senior heifer calves. One entry exhibited by Clara Stevens, a limb flex heifer.
Y'all, this is a really high quality limb flex heifer that this young lady brings us. As she gets her stopped and set up, obviously you guys can see from the profile just how gorgeous she is in terms of her makeup. Beautiful, balanced female that's so attractive and refined, yet still comes with some power and some dimension. I appreciate her stoutness of feature and just the shape that she brings us all the way through. Young ladies brought us some exceptional cattle here, and certainly appreciate this single entry. Let's give her a nice round of applause as she exits the ring.
Congratulations goes to Clara Stevens exhibiting your first place late senior heifer calf. We're now going to move into class 3 early senior heifer calves. And we've got 4 entries in this class. And following this class, we'll bring back Clara's class winner to compete for the AOB Senior Heifer Calf Champion. Who is? Okay. Carter's a scratch. All right, so we've actually got 3 entries in this class. Led off by Jasper Tomlin with the limousine heifer. Followed by Riley Martino with a Shorthorn Plus heifer. Rounding the class will be Kate Ramsey with a Red Angus heifer. Again, this is Class 3 early senior heifer calves. Following this class, we'll bring back our class winner from the late senior heifer calf class to compete for the AOB Senior Heifer Calf Champion.
Nice trio of fall yearling females out here. Obviously, some different types and kinds represented with some different breed makeup. I like the limousine heifer to go ahead and start off this class. I think that she's the one that offers the combination of just soundness of structure and functional skeletal build with the right kind of maternal center body shape and dimension that we're after. Obviously, I think she's a purebred limmy. She comes with a little bit more neck and chest, and that's something that you would probably expect given her breed makeup. The more British influenced heifers out here are a little bit fancier and more appropriate in terms of their front end. But again, I think just in terms of maternal cow power and quality, that's the logical place to start. You like the Red Angus heifer in terms of her freshness. She's a long-bodied female that's very attractive the way her neck sets into the top side of her shoulder. The key advantage that she has over the shorthorn heifer is that she's the sounder structured one. She's more laid back in the angle of her shoulder. She remains more comfortable in her spine and square and leveler off of her rear skeleton as she gets out and goes. We could give her a little bit more center dimension, particularly back through her rear flank, and that's what keeps that female in second. Shorthorn heifer that's going to round out this class does probably have the advantage, as you can see, in terms of center body. She's the higher volumed, kind of easier fleshing female that's standing still, gives you a nice look of quality and is very level in terms of her kind. It's when you ask that female to go that we run into a few issues. She's too rocked forward in the angle of her shoulder and knee, not quite as comfortable as you ask that heifer to motor around the ring. Let's put our hands together. That's a nice class of females here.
Congratulations. Winning your early senior heifer calf class goes to Jasper Tomlin with the limousine heifer. In second, Kate Ramsey with her Red Angus heifer. And in third, Riley Martino with a Shorthorn Plus heifer. We're now going to bring back our late and early senior heifer calf class winners to compete for our AOB Senior Heifer Calf Champion. Entering the ring first, we have our late senior heifer calf class winner, Clara Stevens, exhibiting a Linflex heifer. Next is Jasper Tomlin with an early senior heifer calf, exhibiting a limousine heifer. We also have our second place entry from Class 3, exhibited by Kate Ramsey, her Red Angus heifer.
three really nice heifers out here in this division, and I think that there are two that suit me very well just in terms of female character and maternal cow function. One of those comes in a little bit more feminine package than the other. Let's put our hands together. These two class winners are going to be our champion in reserve. Young lady's younger calf is going to go ahead and be your champion. Young man's Lemmy is going to go ahead and be our reserve. Let's give them a nice big round of applause and congratulate them for their efforts.
Congratulations. Your champion AOB senior heifer calf goes to Clara Stevens with her Limplex heifer, and your reserve champion senior AOB heifer calf goes to Jasper Tomlin. We're now going to move into our intermediate yearling division, and we've got one class that's a single entry for this division, exhibited by Sawyer Tomlin, Limplex heifer. Again, so this will be your division for the intermediate yearlings, class number 4.
A very stout and powerful female out here that just screams brood cow character and functionality. You appreciate just how bold and round she is about her rib cage. Really lays a lot of shape and expression onto the top side of her skeleton. Appreciate her extra length of hip. Maybe one that reads with just a bit more set there to her hock, and we can make her notch more comfortable off of her rear pastern. Certainly is a female out here that could withstand some more competition. Let's put our hands together and congratulate this young man on his nice project.
Congratulations, your champion intermediate yearling heifer goes to Sawyer Tomlin with his Limplex heifer. We're now going to move to our junior yearling heifer division. We've got two classes. Again, we're going to start with our late junior yearling heifers. We've got 8 entries in this, class number 5. First into the ring, we have Alice Yankee with a belted Galloway heifer. Next, we have Ella Jane Michael with a Kiania heifer, followed by Dixie Randolph with a Shorthorn Plus heifer. Next is Carly Thomas with a Maintainer, followed by Wyatt Holloway, also with a maintainer. Next is Leslie Linton with a Shorthorn Plus heifer, followed by Sadie Wood with a Shorthorn heifer. Entering the ring now, we also have Waylon Wilkins with a maintainer heifer. Again, this is Class 5 late junior yearling heifers, would have been born in the spring of 2023. Again, we do want to thank our partners throughout the weekend events here at the State Fair of Virginia. We want to thank the State Fair of Virginia, Virginia Farm Bureau, Virginia Cooperative Extension, Virginia Youth Animal Science Program, Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Farm Credit of the Virginias, First Bank and Trust. We do want to thank and recognize yesterday during the showmanship division, a pair of gloves was given to each exhibitor from the Virginia Tech Intercollegiate Livestock Judging Team and Coach Matthew Miller. A rally towel was also given from the McCall family at MC Livestock, and all of our exhibitors at the 2024 State Fair of Virginia have received a t-shirt sponsored by First Bank and Trust.
We're going to leave these three just how they're lined up. I think a very logical place to start. Young man's heifer is very, very high quality, particularly when she's standing still. Gives you a very good look of quality, particularly through her front third. She's the one that you appreciate just in terms of the way that she's constructed through her center body. You like how she maintains some levelness of spine, particularly hip as she gets out and goes. She's not perfect. I want to clean her up a little bit in her navel and then maybe rock her back on angles of both ends of her skeleton and maybe just make her a little bit looser in terms of her structure. That's getting pretty nitpicky on a high quality one that gives you a good look. There's not a lot of belted Galloways where I come from, and I don't have the opportunity to evaluate them very much, but I think this one is a pretty good one. Very high quality female that obviously gives up some performance to the heifers on both sides of her, but I think she's got the structural advantage in terms of the heifers on either side of her as well. Plus, I like the fact that she comes in a nice moderate cowie package that's appropriate in terms of her body shape. She reads with some muscularity as you get on top of her, and she's just the most functional in terms of her hip and hind leg skeleton. Remains a little bit more relaxed in her spine as you ask her to move. Like the Brockle face heifer that's going to come out in third. Obviously, as I've talked, she does have the performance advantage. She does have the dimension advantage, but those are some things that you'd expect in a high mane female. Again, I think from a structural perspective, I want to make some tweaks on her ever so slightly. She wants to get just a little bit round as she moves off of her rear skeleton, a little tighter spine. I want to see her just a little bit looser as she motors around out here. Same can be said about the female that comes in 4. Very, very highly presented, and I certainly appreciate that about this heifer. One that's just too stilty off of both ends. She wants to get a little tighter in her spine, rolled up in her top line. Maybe doesn't leave you with the same dimension advantage that we've seen in some others in this particular set. Heifer that's very practical in terms of her kind. She's high volume, she's bold bodied, she's very muscular, very sound in terms of her structure. One that just falls out of bed a little bit from a balance and femininity perspective up front. She wants to open up in her shoulder and get a little bit lower set in the way that her neck comes out of her front end. We could tweak her in terms of some femininity features from that perspective. Like the additional growth and extension of the shorthorn heifer that's going to come out next. I believe this is the shorthorn plus female. She's long-bodied, she's high-performing, she's sound in terms of her structure, maybe doesn't come with the extras in terms of power and dimension. The powerful female that's so good in terms of her shape, good in terms of her balance and her skeletal structure is the one that comes next. You certainly hate to put a heifer of this caliber towards the lower end of the class, but the young lady acknowledges it. She's just too moderate in terms of her kind. She's too small, she's too short in terms of her stature. Question her just in terms of having the ability to go and produce ones that are going to get out and perform. Shorthorn heifer that's going to round out the class again. You appreciate in terms of her extension and her performance. We need a shot more balance and look all the way through. Let's put our hands together. That was a really nice class of AOB heifers.
Congratulations. Winning your late junior yearling heifer class is Waylon Wilkins with a maintainer heifer. In second, Alice Yankee. In third, Wyatt Holloway. In fourth, Ella Jane Michael. In fifth, Dixie Randolph. In sixth, Leslie Linton. In seventh, Carly Thomas. And in eighth, Sadie Wood. We're now going to move into Class 6, early junior yearling heifers. We have 2 entries in this class. First into the ring is Jeb Collins with a maintainer heifer, followed by Audrey Cook, also with a maintainer heifer. Again, this is Class 6, early junior yearling heifers. Following this class, we'll bring back our late junior yearling champion, our class winner, to compete for the AOB Junior Yearling Heifer Champion.
January entries out here. We're going to go ahead and use the young ladies' bigger, higher performing heifer to go ahead and win this particular class. Again, the females that are the same age, I can get on board with her extra performance, length of body, and just size and extension. I think both of these females probably need tweaked from a structural perspective, especially if you read them off of their hind skeleton. And that's why I'm the most comfortable aligning with her added performance and depth of body. Nice, maybe more moderate female that's going to go ahead and come in second, long and extended and pretty practical in terms of her build. We read with some of the same struggles off of our rear skeletal structure, and then just doesn't have the added punch or performance that our class winner does. Let's put our hands together to both of these exhibitors here in this class.
Congratulations, your class winning early junior yearling heifer goes to Audrey Cook, and second place goes to Jeb Collins. We're now going to bring back our two junior yearling class winners to compete for our AOB Junior Yearling Heifer Champion. All right, first into the ring, we have our Class 5 winner, exhibited by Waylon Wilkins, a maintainer heifer. Next, we have Audrey Cook with her Class 6 winner, a maintainer heifer. We'll now bring in our second place winners. From Class 5, Alice Yankee, her belted Galloway heifer. And from Class 6, Jeb Collins with his maintainer heifer. Again, this is competing for the AOB Junior Yearling Heifer Division Champion.
I think we have two high-quality class winners out here to represent this division. Both are very practical and female in terms of their build. You like their center body and dimension. You like the extra looks of femininity that they offer. I think there's just one that kind of represents a little bit higher quality just in terms of the way that she handles her hind leg in particular, and then the balance and the presence that she sets up with from a profile. So put your hands together for those that represent here this particular division. I'll show you your champion in reserve.
Congratulations, your champion AOB Junior Yearling Heifer, exhibited by Waylon Wilkins. We're now going to bring in the second place entry, exhibited by Alice Yankee of Belted Galloway. The Galloway second. All right, and your reserve Junior Yearling Heifer champion goes to Alice Yankee with her belted Galloway heifer. Congratulations.
Actually, I think very good for a belted Galloway. I don't really know anything about belted Galloways, but it's a good one. She sounds. I like that. There you go. That's right.
All right, we're going to move into our senior heifer division. Class number 7, we have 2 entries in this class, senior yearling heifers. First into the ring is Madison Hinkler with a Shorthorn Plus heifer. And next is Emily Cook, also with a Shorthorn Plus heifer. All right, folks, so we actually just have one senior yearling heifer class. After this class, we're going to move to select our champion and reserve champion AOB heifer, And then following the selection of our champion and reserve champion, we do have a bred and owned heifer class.
Nice pair of senior heifers out here. I like the additional body and just softness of feature in the blue roan heifer that's going to start this particular class. One that just remains a little bit more comfortable in terms of her spine as we get out on the go. I like her additional easiness of fleshing ability and just moderation to go ahead and lead off this class. Long-bodied extended heifer that's smooth in terms of her makeup and fresh in terms of her structural presentation. Just doesn't have enough body or punch to compete with the heifer on the top side of this group. Let's put our hands together for these two young ladies as they head out of the ring.
Congratulations, your champion senior yearling heifer exhibited by Madison Hinkler, and your reserve champion senior yearling heifer exhibited by Emily Cook. All right, we're now going to move into selection of our grand champion AOB heifer. We've got our AOB senior heifer calf champion exhibited by Clara Stevens, a limb flex heifer. We have our champion AOB intermediate yearling exhibited by Sawyer Tomlin. We've got our AOB junior yearling heifer champion exhibited by Waylon Wilkins. And we have our AOB senior yearling heifer champion exhibited by Madison Hinkler, Shorthorn Plus heifer. We're also going to bring in our reserve champions from each division. Your reserve senior heifer calf champion exhibited by Jasper Tomlin. Your reserve junior yearling heifer champion exhibited by Alice Yankee. And your reserve champion senior yearling heifer exhibited by Emily Cook. Again, this is the championship drive for our AOB show. Following the selection of our grand and reserve, we will go to a bred and owned class.
AOB show that's not huge in terms of numbers, but I do think that we've got some pieces of quality out here that are hard to replicate. My congratulations to all of these exhibitors that have made it to this point in this particular show and those that have taken their projects back to the barn. A really solid division and breed here that's represented here in this show. I'm a pretty big proponent of just structural correctness and soundness and mobility, particularly in these breeding pieces, and quite honestly, that's what's going to sort it out here in this championship drive. My congratulations to each of the division winners out here in this particular breed, if you will. Let's put our hands together. I'll show you the two that I prefer.
Congratulations, your grand champion AOB heifer exhibited by Clara Stevens. We're going to bring in our reserve senior heifer calf champion Jasper Tomlin. All right, your reserve champion AOB heifer exhibited by Waylon Wilkins, Again, congratulations, exhibitors. Your champion AOB heifer, exhibited by Clara Stevens, and your reserve champion AOB heifer, exhibited by Waylon Wilkins. We're now going to move to Class 8, our bred and owned heifer class. Sorry. And we've got a single entry in this class, exhibited by Jeb Collins, a maintainer heifer. And again,
Well, my congratulations to this young man having a bred known project that's out here, and representative of such quality like this breeding piece is for the young man is certainly exciting, and something that's not very easy to do. And obviously you guys can tell there's only a single entry here, and if it was pretty simple and pretty easy, there'd be a lot more of them out here. So my congratulations to you, young man, for working really hard here with your bred known project. I think this will be a fun one to put back in your herd. Obviously we can take her to something that'll give her a shot more body and just kind of keep with her moderation, maybe loosen her up ever so slightly off of a rear skeleton. She'll be a nice breeding piece for you with a lot of versatility. Let's show this young man our congratulations and appreciation for bringing his project here to the State Fair.
congratulations, your champion AOB bred and owned heifer, exhibited by Jeb Collins. Let's give our judge, Christy Gable, a round of applause. She is done for the day, but we'll have her back tomorrow. We appreciate everybody coming out. We're going to be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow with our registered shows. We've got Sale of Champions and a bunch of fun things here coming up this afternoon that we hope you're involved with. Again, thanks for coming out and supporting the 2024 State Fair Youth Beef Show.